Good morning, beautiful being. It is great to be here outside in the sunshine. And let me not waste any time. Here are the roses. Gotta enjoy the roses. Because, you know, they're in full flight and it hasn't rained or blown hard for the last couple of days, and that means we actually have roses, which is really nice because, you know, all the time when they were just coming out, it was really rugged. So there we go. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Mike. Two beautiful people to share with. Look at this. There you go. It's better in the shade. You get some idea of the scale of the thing if I step back. That's about half of it. So yeah, it's beautiful. And look in the corner, this lovely contrast. This hydrangea with its really carmine pink flowers, it's the same beast as these ones. It's just the soil of the city is different. I actually put stuff on the soil here to make it more sour so that the flowers will be more blue. It's a lot better that way. Really. When you have the gold alstroemeria and the blue hydrangeas, there's just nothing better than that contrast. It wouldn't be the same if they were pink. And here we have, I haven't been in deadheaded. Here we have the somewhat betraggled but still going. See, I have to pick off dead flowers. That's what I do. Break them off, and then you can see fresh ones, but I won't do it all now. But here they are. And so we have Love in the Mist, which is mostly turning to seed pods now, but you know, there's still lots of flowers. I love it en masse. And the very first flowers of this one, which right now I've forgotten its name, Something Queen. Okay, it's pretty awesome when they all start to come out. There's piles of them. And you can see a big stack there, and these ones are actually stuck under the magnolia, so I moved them out. So, patches of things. Carmelina, it's beautiful to see you. And look at our wonderful magnolia just covered in summer leaves. So this is the back garden, right? We'll just pan around over here. And the other thing I wanted to show you here, because it's still going strong, that's me. Is what's happening here, because we've enjoyed it once, but let's enjoy it again. I mean, this is a nice view, right? And we have a new Japanese iris that's come out here. It's all fresh and beautiful. There's this one, and there is nothing missing from that. It's perfect. See, the weather's been kind, and so it's not been beaten to shreds. And yeah, it's not actually the best place for it, because you can see the foliage is pretty spare and it's quite short. But it's such a beautiful flower. I have a suspicion about where I'm going to put it next season. I'll probably move it. But for now, it's happy enough there, it's surviving. And we have lots and lots of this beautiful tall purple campanula here. Good morning, everybody. It's lovely to see you coming on. A little ramble around the garden before I get started rambling in other ways. And here is the purple phyllictrum, which I enjoy so much. But you can't see it with the sunshine behind it. So there it is. There you go. So these wonderful bosses of yellow stamens, it sways in the wind, it's just a really beautiful thing, and it does remind anybody who has been around for a little while will remember when white gypsophila and red roses were totally the rage in the florist shops, and it's kind of like gypsophila, except it's got colour. Let's have some focus, camera. Come on, sort it out. There you go. It's fabulous. I love this thing. Snowy in Ohio. Yeah, well, this will be a contrast then. Speaking of contrast, look at the golden elderberry there. Really love that foliage. I'm big into foliage because foliage lasts. Look, here's the lavender bush coming into flower. They're always a bit scruffy, you know, but the flowers are lovely. And there's the larkspur. It's fallen over, it got blown over, but it's still beautiful. So, now let me get to topic. I do not exclude the possibility of showing you more flowers later, because there's a lot of flowers at this time. That's what happens in summer. So today I want to talk about this whole thing of being a good friend. Jen, good morning, honey. Good morning, Julian. It's lovely to see you. It's great to be here. It's nice to be outside and the wind is quiet, and I'm grateful for that too. So I'm going to talk about what being a good friend means, because one of my lovely people asked me a question yesterday and said, well, really, you know, this is this is something you can put in a live if you like, is how do you deal with the fact when somebody that you love and that apparently loves you, you try to be their friend and it's not working, and you have to realise that it's not working, but then they care about you and you care about them, and how do you be a good friend in that situation when, there's all this affection but the relationship and the interaction is really unhealthy? What do you do? So I thought, well, what do you do? And to me, that always comes back really to loving myself first, because you get these situations quite commonly. And I've been in them myself, actually, really, when I think about it. Not recently, not for a long time, because I'm with my soulmate. I'm very grateful. It's amazing, really. You get these situations where everybody is trying as hard as they can to be a good friend, to be a good partner, to be a good, whatever in the relationship, and it's just not working. It's just like pushing shit uphill. And what I understand about that situation now, number of things flying through my head, try and get them out in one linear stream, Maddie. Everyone's trying, but nobody's really conscious of what is making them try. Nobody is really conscious about what's really driving them. And when the intention is, I love you, but the interaction is toxic, the intention is conscious. But remember, your conscious mind is 5% of who you are. The other 95% of who you are is unconscious or subconscious, and you're not aware of it, and it's running the show. So, and it's not always bad, right? But when you're in a quote-unquote love relationship with whoever, it really doesn't matter, and it's not loving, it's like, well, what's going on here? It means that consciously you have an intention, but some subconscious, unconscious programs are running the show about how the relationship is. And we talked about that yesterday. Hi, Heather! Hey, great to see you. Where a lot of those very unconscious programs, they just soak in when we're kids and we have no analytical facility to go, hey, this is crap, I don't want to be like this. And then we get programmed neurologically and biochemically. I've just been reading about this in Joe's book, Evolve Your Brain. Oh my God, lots of neuroscience, but I love it. Makes so much sense now because I'm really familiar with this model. We get programmed both neurologically and biochemically, and then we grow up and we think, well, I don't want to have that experience, but unconsciously we walk around in the world attracting people who help us to think and feel in the way that we are most accustomed to thinking and feeling. So if you've grown up feeling worthless or unloved, or like you have to fight and be angry and scream at people to get what you need, you may intellectually think, I don't want to be like that, but it keeps happening and you're thinking, what the hell? That's the hell, okay? That's what happens. That's how it happens. Your body has become accustomed to having those kinds of reactions and interactions with people, and it actually, believe it or not, wants everything to stay the same. That's what the body's job, the autonomic nervous system, its job is to keep things the same. It's called homeostasis. And homeostasis should be a really good space, a really good way of being. But the thing is, if you've been programmed for stress or for feeling worthless or for feeling shamed or guilty or angry or fearful or whatever it is, then your homeostasis is that. And then you wonder why this keeps on happening and why you want to be in love with someone and you meet someone and then it all turns to shit 3 months later. It's because you're running the program. So, that's what I've just been learning. I mean, I understood it, but I understand it better now. Wow, read the book. And so, that's how it happens. And to get out of that, to change it, to be a good friend to anybody, to be a good lover, to be a good parent, to be a good child, to be a good sibling, to be a good workmate, to be a good member of any community, whether it be of 2 or 2 million, you first have to realise that whatever is coming out of you is what's in your cup. So you better fill up your cup with good stuff And you better fill up your cup with good stuff about you. You better take responsibility entirely for making yourself feel fulfilled and loved and safe and whatever else, empowered. And oh dear, this is hard. Stop. Just pull the plug. This doesn't take one moment, although sometimes it does, on expecting anybody to do or be any of that for you. What? You mean it's my responsibility to make myself feel loved? Yeah, it is. So if you run around feeling unloved and unworthy and whatever else it is, and you are looking for somebody else to give that to you, what are you really running? You're running a program of feeling unloved and unworthy. Your body's used to that. Your body knows how to do that, and guess what? It wants to keep it the same. It doesn't care that you don't enjoy consciously having that experience as far as the body's concerned. That's normal, and we need to keep things normal. So, unconsciously, you're going to find more people who will help you have more of that experience because that is normal. So, if you want to have a different experience as normal, you've got to change your inner normal before your outer normal is ever going to be different. This is a fact. You know, we've all heard the story of the person who was really poor, won the lottery, and 6 months later they were poor again. Why? Because they were still poor inside themselves, and having won $20 million didn't make a blind bit of difference. It's about you. It's not about anybody or anything else. So to fill your own cup and realise that if there's lack, if there's not love, if there's rejection, if there's whatever else, now, as a grown-up, because this is kind of hardwired by the time we're 35, if you're younger, it's going to be easier to change, but understand this is what happens. It's all you. You are creating this, and so you can uncreate it. But it's going to mean that you have to go somewhere unfamiliar, and it's not going to feel good when you look in the mirror and say, Maddie, I love you. And everything inside you, which is used to feeling, Maddie, you suck, says, oh no, I am comfortable feeling, Maddie, you suck. I am comfortable feeling sucky. Do you understand? Your cells actively, instantly resist feeling something different. So to look in the mirror and say, Maddie, I love you, you're amazing, is going to feel really wrong. But if you keep practicing it, it's going to get easier. It will. It will. And I don't have time to explain the chemical reason why that's true. Trust me, this comes down to chemistry. It also comes down to resonance. But ultimately, the resonance, the thought, creates the feeling, and that's the chemistry. And when the chemistry of your normal experience is different from the chemistry of the experience you want to have, your body registers that as that kind of, oh, no. And the thoughts come, are you kidding? Love you? Are you mad? No. And then 1,000 reasons come into your head as to why, no, I don't love you. You're awful. You failed. And, and the memories and everything. The neural nets about how sucky you are fire off one after the other. And right in the middle of that maelstrom of self-reproach, you have the choice about whether you continue to go down the familiar, comfortable, painful route, or go to the uncomfortable route, which is a different feeling, which doesn't feel comfortable either, but at least it's closer to what you want to think and feel and do and be and have. So to be a good friend to someone else, you first got to become a good friend to yourself, and that means loving you. And that means facing everything in you that doesn't love you. See why many of us don't do this? Because that's hard. Hell, this morning in my meditation, I always do this little short one before the main one. And the little short one is about getting inspired by my future. And I was getting inspired. And it's funny, I haven't been even really tuning into my future for a long time, but the last few weeks I've been tuning at other things. The last couple of weeks I've really started to, it's like something in me says, yeah, it's time to start creating this now. And so I'm imagining, again, my house done up and the things repaired about the place, and and feeling really supported and like I belong and I'm in a community, which is a weird thing for me because I'm so not used to that. And that amazing stuff's happening and really feeling it. And right at the end of it, just as I'm about to go into the next one, which starts with this amazing breath where you can literally pull stuck emotion out of your body, boom! This enormous amount of, but I don't belong here and I don't want to be here, comes just boiling up out of nowhere from inside me. And it started with immense homesickness. And I was never homesick as a kid, but there was a point in my life at which I realised, shit, I'm not from here. I mean, I'm from a long way from Earth. It was painful, the homesick. That came back. And so I was dealing with that all of a sudden. In the sense of, no, I don't want to be here. I don't want to, it was immense. And I pulled it out with a breath. And you know, the voice, the neural circuit, the chemistry that said, no, I do not want to feel that I belong because I'm not used to it. I am used to feeling isolated and like I'm not from here. Don't ask me to change. That was the choice. It was a maelstrom inside me. Now I've got the tools to deal with it now, so I know what to do. But that's literally what's going on. That was the chemistry. That was the thought. That was the feeling. Oh my God, what a program. I've been running that for so long. Might as well be my entire life. To be changing that is awesome, but you know, it was painful. It comes up. So when you start to say, I'm going to be the best friend to myself, I'm going to love myself, everything in you that isn't that is going to come up and scream at you, because for you to have a different feeling means your body has to go somewhere different, and it doesn't want to because it thinks it's dangerous. That's all. That's why it feels so wrong to start stepping into your future ahead of it happening. But this is how we do it. So, what am I going to talk about? Being a best friend, a lover of it, whatever. You've got to fill your own cup up. And that also means, before I run out of time, good, I've got time. That also means that when you realise that a relationship just isn't working, you need to get real and admit that it's just not working. And it doesn't really matter why. It really doesn't matter why. Fundamentally, remembering more of what I read yesterday and the day before, which is just entrancing me at the moment. What it means is that, you know, because like that person that you are, I mean, you're running the program of I'm unworthy and I'm unloved. And if they're in your life, they will be running similar programs as you. And so you get to be unworthy and unloved together. Now, you know, in the case of my husband and I, when we met, we were running a ton of shitty programs. But we had some programs about taking responsibility for ourselves and absolutely refusing to ever dump on the other person, which allowed us to move through a lot of stuff without ever dumping on each other. And we just had this determination that no matter what was going on, we were always going to come out of it together and loving each other. And so, you know, there's just times when you think, oh God, this is my shit. I got to go away and deal with my shit. I just, you know, but it's my shit. However, if you don't have those programs running and you dump your unworthiness and your unlovedness and everything else on the other person, or they dump it on you, well, you know, that's just a feedback loop. It just keeps going. And sometimes you have to get out of a situation like that and put yourself into a different space. Realise that you're resonating at that frequency. You've got to change your internal frequency. You've got to change what you think and how you feel. And you've got to do that consistently enough that either, if you really want to, which I personally just would refuse to do, but everyone's different. If you really want to, and if it's appropriate, and sometimes it is, you can be in that space and you can hold your stuff, and that person can be doing their shit, and you are so strong that they will either entrain to you and change themselves to match, or they will go away. Myself, I would rather just get the hell out of a situation that is not conducive to me, be in my own space, become my own best friend, lover, parent, child, sibling, workmate, whatever, and however long it fucking takes, know that when I am the person I desire to be with, that person's going to show up. If that makes sense. When I become the person, when I become like the person that I want to be in my life, when I feel whole and when I feel fulfilled and when I feel loved and when, and, you know, all of that, well then that kind of person's going to show up because they'll be running the same programs as me. and we'll get together and have a great time. That's what I want to do. But, it's always been easier for me to say bye because of the program I was running about isolation and nobody loves me and nobody's here for me and I am on my own and I really don't want to be here anyway, which I didn't realise. So, very easy for me to say bye. Although, I'm not someone who's been dumped on people. There were many other constraints that kept me in place. But now, it's very easy for me to say bye. It's like, no, if it doesn't work for me, I'm out of there. It's not because I don't care. It's just I realise that there's not a common resonance. There's nothing for me to work with, and there's nothing that person can receive from me, and there's nothing I can receive from them because we just don't speak the same language. So that's what I think about being a good friend, because if you become your own best friend and if you learn to love yourself, the people who are able and willing and in a place to receive your love will be able to do that. And if they can't, there's no point trying. Let it go and become more of what you desire for yourself. And expect and understand that when you are able to receive those right people into your life, they will show up. And if they're not there, don't even go looking for them. Keep on becoming the person who feels whole and loved and fulfilled and get coherent. We talked about that over and over, and we'll keep talking about that over and over because that is what is going to do it for you. So, I hope this makes sense. I think I covered everything I wrote. It's always a little memory game thing. What did I say again? But I think I did it. I'd love to know your questions. Facebook stopped scrolling the comments up, so I don't know what everyone said, but I will look forward to seeing it later. Thank you so much for sharing yourself with me. I will see you tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.